Hi, this is Chef Skip. Let's talk about Chapter 11 in Prostart, Food Service Equipment. There are a lot of different tasks that need to be done in the food service industry, and multiple types of equipment are the way we get it done. Receiving food. Equipment and tools are divided into categories according to their function: to receive, store, prepare, hold, or serve food. The receiving area is the first stop in the flow of food. It is here that all our food deliveries enter the restaurant or food service operation. Before accepting the product, an employee checks the quality and the quantity of the items ordered against those being delivered. Receiving food. This can be accomplished using several pieces of equipment found in the receiving area. A receiving table. Employees weigh, inspect, and check delivered items on a receiving table or a receiving area. Scales. Employees weigh items using a scale to confirm that what was ordered matches what is delivered. And utility carts. Carts molded of durable injection molding plastic, molded shelving, or heavy steel are used to carry food cases to storage areas. Chutes, conveyors, dollies, dumbwaiters, and elevators are all used to move food and supplies from one area of the operation to another. After food is delivered and received into the receiving area, it must be stored properly. Dry goods such as flour, sugar, and grains must be stored at least 6 inches off the floor on stainless steel shelving. Perishable goods such as dairy products, meat, and fresh fruits and vegetables are stored in refrigerators or freezers. Following are some details regarding the shelving and the refrigerators and freezers found in food service operation. Shelving. Operations use stainless steel instead of wood because wood is difficult to keep clean and is not acceptable to many local health departments. Stainless steel shelves are very strong and easy to clean. Refrigerators and freezers. There are two basic types of refrigerators and freezers. A walk-in refrigerator or a walk-in freezer, often just called a walk-in, is built right into the food service facility itself. A reach-in refrigerator or reach-in freezer, often just called a reach-in, can have 1, 2, or 3 internal compartments. A reach-in might have a full-size door or half-size doors, and sometimes they have windows in the doors, and they may have doors on both sides. Some have wheels so they can be used in different areas of the kitchen, and there are also roll-in display on-site and portable refrigerators and freezers. All refrigerators must maintain temperatures between 32 and 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Freezers should maintain a temperature of 0 Fahrenheit or lower. Processing equipment, cutters and mixers. In addition to knives, hand tools, pots and pans, and other items are necessary to prepare food for cooking. Cutters and mixers, steamers, broilers, ranges, griddles, fryers, ovens, and proofing cabinets. In the professional restaurant or food service kitchen, cutters and mixers are used to cut meats, vegetables, to mix sauces and batters. Always start the mixer on low speed and then move to a higher speed as required to prevent splashover. Always scrape the bowl to ensure that even mixing takes place. Never place a scraper or any other object in the mixing bowl while the machine is running. Additionally, it is important to always use safeguards when using cutting machines. Everyone should be properly trained and informed of all the precautionary measures to take when operating the equipment. Remember, it is illegal in most jurisdictions for minors to use, clean, or maintain cutters or mixers. Blenders puree, liquefy, and blend food. The blender consists of a base that houses the motor and a removable lidded jar with a propeller-like blade on the bottom. Speed settings for the motor are on the base. Jars for the blender are made of plastic, steel, or glass. The food chopper chops vegetables, meat, and other food using a vertical rotating blade and a bowl that rotates the food under the blade. This unit is often called a buffalo chopper. Never push food under the cover of the bowl, because your fingers could be caught up in the moving blades. To clean the food chopper, first unplug the unit, remove the blades carefully, and handle with the same care given a knife. Another type of food chopper, this sometimes called a robo-coup, one of the major manufacturers. This is a processing machine that houses the motor separately from the bowl, blades, and lid. Food processors grind, puree, blend, crush, and knead food. The horizontal cutter mixer, or HCM, cuts, mixes, and blends food quickly with a high-speed horizontal rotating blade that is housed in a large bowl with a tight cover. To vary from coarse to fine or actual puree, control the length of time the blade runs through the product. Always count to 10 before opening the lid after stopping the blade. The force created in the bowl moves the food rapidly. Allow time for food to stop moving, or it may fly out when the lid is opened. Unplug the unit before cleaning it. Handle the blades with the same care as the knife. The mixer will not operate if the hinged lid is not locked. An immersion blender, also known as a hand blender, stick blender, or burr mixer, is a long stick-like machine that houses a motor at one end of the machine with a blade at the other end. This operates in the same manner as a countertop blender to puree and blend food, except that a cook holds it manually in a container of food, whereas the countertop blender contains the food itself. The mandolin. This is a manually operated slicer made of stainless steel with adjustable slicing blades and to slice in julienne. Its narrow rectangular body sits on the work counter at a 45-degree angle. It is useful for slicing small quantities of fruit or vegetables in situations where a large electric slicer is not necessary. There are also extremely popular plastic models, which may have fixed or adjustable blades. Typically, these do not stand on counters but are held over bowls or a work surface. Always use a hand guard or steel glove to avoid injury. A meat grinder is a freestanding machine or an attachment for a standing mixer. Drop food in through a feed tube, where it is pulled along by a metal worm and then cut by blades as the food is forced out and through grinder plates. To avoid cross-contamination, clean all areas of a meat grinder thoroughly after each use. A slicer. Most meat slicers have a slanted circular blade. Food either passes through the machine automatically or a cook pushes a hopper that holds the product along a carriage into the blade. The thickness of the slice is set by increasing or decreasing the distance between the guide plates and the blade. The guard on the hopper must always be used to move the hopper. This protects the hands. During cleaning, the machine must be unplugged, and the blade set at 0, no distance between the guide plate and the blade. Remember that the blade is a knife and can cut even when it is not turning. Because slicer blades are very sharp, it is important to pay close attention when using them. The mixer. Mixers come in 5-quart, 20-quart, 60-quart, and 80-quart sizes. Cooks use them to mix and process large amounts of food with any number of specialized attachments, including paddles, wire whips, dough hooks, meat grinders, shredders, slicers, and juicers. Mixer attachments. A flat beater paddle is used to mix, mash, and cream soft foods. A wire whip is used to beat and add air to light foods such as egg whites and cake frosting. A wing whip is a heavier version of the wire whip and is used to whip cream and mash heavier foods. And a dough arm or hook is used to mix heavy, thick dough. Steamers. Steamers are used to cook vegetables and grains. A steamer allows the food to come into contact with steam, heating the food very quickly. Cooking with steam is a very efficient method of cooking. There are different types of steamers in use in restaurant and food service operations. Use a steamer to steam foods such as vegetables and grains. The steamer uses low or high steam pressure and often consists of a set of stacked pots. The lower pot holds boiling water. The upper pot has a perforated bottom and allows the steam to enter through the cooked food in the pot above. All types of steamers cook food quickly at a very hot 212 degrees Fahrenheit with water vapor. Convection steamer. In a convection steamer, the steam is generated in a boiler and then piped into a cooking chamber where it is vented over the food. Pressure does not build up in the unit. Rather, it is continually exhausted, which means the food may be opened at any time without danger of scalding or burning that comes from a pressure steamer. Cooks use convection steamers to cook large quantities of food. Pressure steamer. A pressure steamer cooks food with high pressure steam. Water is heated under pressure in a sealed compartment, allowing it to reach temperatures greater than 212 degrees Fahrenheit. It is very important to release the pressure before opening the door on a pressure steamer. The cooking time is controlled by automatic timers, which open the exhaust valves at the end of the cooking time to vent the steamer. Steam jacketed kettle. These kettles come in freestanding and tabletop versions and in a very wide range of sizes. The kettle's bottom and sides have 2 layers and the steam circulates between the layers, heating food like soups and stews quickly and evenly. Because the circulating steam evenly heats all sides of the kettle instead of just the bottom, food cooks faster and more evenly and is less likely to burn. Tilting fry pan or tilting skillet. Although this piece of equipment is often called a fry pan or skillet, cooks use it to grill, steam, braise, saute, and stew many different kinds of food. Most tilting fry pans have lids that allow the unit to function as a steamer. They are very easy to clean. Broilers. There are several types of broilers that are commonly used in restaurant and food service operations. Using very intense direct heat, broilers cook food quickly. For broilers, the heat source is above or both above and below the food. Charbroiler. Charbroilers use gas or electricity to mimic the effects of charcoal in a grill, and as a result are sometimes referred to as grills. Food juices drip onto the heat source and create flames and smoke, which add flavor to the food. Countertop broiler. This is a small broiler that sits on top of a work table. Primarily quick service restaurants use these. The heat source is located above the food and produces an intense radiant heat. Hotel broiler. Use this large radiant broiler to broil large amounts of food quickly. Rotisserie. In a rotisserie, cooks place food on a stick or a spit and roast it over or under a heat source. The unit may be open or enclosed like an oven. Cooks use it most often for cooking chicken, turkey, and other types of poultry. Salamander. Small radiant broiler attached to the back of the range, usually for browning, finishing, or melting food. Ranges, griddles, and fryers. In restaurant and food service kitchen, the range is usually the most frequently utilized piece of equipment. Ranges are cooking units with open heat sources, like much of the restaurant and food service equipment mentioned earlier. Ranges come in multiple sizes and variations suitable to the specific needs of an individual operation. Deep vat fryer. Gas and electric fryers cook food in oil at temperatures between 300 and 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Some computerized fryers lower and raise the food baskets automatically. Flat top burner. A flat top burner cooks food on a thick slate of cast iron or steel plate that covers the heat source. A flat top burner provides even and consistent heat. The griddle. Similar to the flat top range, a griddle has a heat source located underneath a thick plate of metal. Cook food directly on this surface, which is usually designed with edges to contain the food and to drain the collected waste. Induction burner. An induction burner generates heat by means of magnetic attraction between the cooktop and the steel or cast iron pot or pan. The cooktop itself remains cool. Reaction time is significantly faster with the induction cooktop than the traditional burners. Do not use copper or aluminum pans on this burner. They will not work. A wok burner. This is a gas burner or propane for home use, with multiple jets designed to cradle a rounded wok pan. An extremely intense heat. The high heat of the wok burner produces the wok high, which is particularly savory, charred flavor associated with the best wok cooked dishes. An open burner. A great style gas burner, direct heat by open flame. Heat is easily controlled. Combi oven. There are many types of ovens available to suit a variety of restaurant and food service operations. They vary in size and method of operation. This unit combines a convection oven with a steamer. Using a combi oven, cooks can work with convective steam, with convective dry hot air, or with a combination of both. These are very efficient, flexible units, but they are relatively expensive. Convection oven. Convection ovens have a fan that circulates heated air around the food as it cooks. This shortens cooking times and uses energy efficiently. Reduced recipe temperature is designed for conventional ovens by 25 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. because the circulating air is so much more efficient. The conventional or standard oven. In a conventional oven, the heat source is located in the floor of the oven. Heat rises into the cavity or open space in the oven, which contains racks for the food to sit on as it cooks. These ovens are usually located between range-top burners, and conventional ovens are inexpensive and easy to integrate with other pieces of cooking equipment. Conveyor oven. In this type of oven, a conveyor belt moves the food along the belt in one direction. It cooks with the heat sources on both the top and the bottom. Deck oven. A deck oven is a type of conventional oven in which 2 to 4 shelves are stacked on top of each other. Cook food directly on these shelves or decks. A microwave oven. Microwave ovens heat food not with heat, but with microwaves of energy that cause a food's molecules to move rapidly and create heat inside the food. In restaurant and food service kitchens, cooks use microwaves mainly to thaw and reheat foods. A rotary oven. A rotary oven has 3 to 5 circular shelves on which food cooks as the shelves move around in a central rod. Products are put on the speed rack, the rack is pushed into the oven, and it either moves on a spinning track or is lifted and spun around. You'll find one of these in Chef Claus's bake shop. A slow roasting oven. Use this oven to roast meat at low temperatures. This helps preserve the meat's moisture, reduces shrinkage, and browns the meat surfaces. A smoker. Use a smoker for smoking and slow cooking food. A true smoker treats food with smoke and operates at either cool or hot temperatures. Smokers generally have racks or hooks, allowing food to smoke evenly. A tandoor oven. This is traditionally a cylindrical or barrel-shaped oven, often made of clay, with a wood or charcoal fire inside at the base of the open top. There are also stainless steel versions of tandoor ovens as shown here. Food can be thrust inside the oven on a long metal spike. Famously, chicken or portions of thin dough can be slapped against the inside of the oven to develop characteristic bubbling and charring. These ovens easily reach 800 degrees Fahrenheit to 900 degrees Fahrenheit. A proofing cabinet, used to proof dough or to keep hot after it's been baked, to control temperature and humidity of the dough, to develop a consistent product, and to save space and time. When working with large equipment, observe safety precautions. It is important to perform proper and consistent maintenance and cleaning. Follow these general guidelines when working with large equipment. 1. Learn to use the machine safely by getting proper instructions and reading the manufacturer's instructions. Ensure that all employees are thoroughly trained on handling all equipment for safety concerns. Make sure that they can demonstrate both the proper use and disassembly of all equipment before allowing them to use it. Use all safety features. Make sure that lids are secure. Use hand guards and make sure machines are stable. 3. Turn off and unplug electrical equipment completely after each use. 4. Check to ensure that the equipment is unplugged before disassembly. Clean and sanitize the equipment thoroughly after each use. 5. Reassemble all pieces of equipment properly and leave machines unplugged after each use. And 6. Report any problems or malfunctions promptly and alert coworkers to the problem. Of course, there are specific instructions for many of the tools used in a professional kitchen. When using a deep fryer, please observe all the safety features. Please remember that the oil can reach a temperature of 400 degrees Fahrenheit, if not checked, and can cause serious injury. Safety uses instructions. Use caution when working around hot oil. Get trained in the proper use and maintenance of your deep fryer. Observe all safety procedures and wear all protective equipment provided for your use while preparing hot items. Use gloves, scrapers, and other cleaning tools with handles provided by your employer. Use the correct grease level and cooking temperatures for your deep fryer. Avoid reaching over or climbing on top of fryers and other hot surfaces. Clean vents when oil is cool. Dispose of used frying oil by following the manufacturer's recommendations. Do not work close to the hot fryers when the floor is wet. Do not spill water or ice into oil. Do not store employee drinks by deep fryers. They could be easily bumped into the hot oil and cause a flare-up. Do not overfill or pour excessive amounts of product into a deep fryer at one time. Overfilling causes excessive splashing and bubbling of the hot oil. Do not pour excess ice from packages into the fryer. Do not overheat the oil. Use only the manufacturer's recommended cooking temperatures. Do not move or strain hot oil containers. Wait until the oil is cool. Do not store oil on the floor by the grill area. Someone could slip and fall into the oil. Extinguish hot oil or grease fires by using a Class B or a Class K fire extinguisher. A meat slicer is a rotating or spinning blade with which you slice food. These machines are dangerous and should never be used without proper instruction and guidance. Dedicate your full attention to the slicing task and avoid distractions. Wear cut-resistant gloves when operating or cleaning the machine. Secure the food correctly so it does not slip. Turn off and unplug the machine and set the blade adjustment to 0 before cleaning. This makes sure that the knife edge is not exposed. Keep the work area clean and free of clutter. Always use tampers or pushers to push food into place. Never use hands to feed food into a slicer. Never reach across the blade for any reason. Use locking features to keep the blade in place when not in operation. As stated earlier, there are different types of steamers available for use. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions on how to properly clean and use these machines. Guard against possible steam burns when opening the door. If steam leaks around the door after tightening, have the steamer checked by a reliable service person. Be certain that the safety valve is in a good working order. If steam pressure rises above the safety level, shut off the steam and call a reliable person. Clean up spilled food immediately. Types of holding and service equipment. Once the food arrives in the holding and service area, it is usually ready to be presented to the guests. The kitchen staff have taken great care and all precautions to ensure that the meals served to guests have been prepared accurately and safely. Though most of the hard work in preparing the meal has already been done, the final touches made in the holding and service areas are important to delivering a quality meal. A bain-marie is a cylindrical stainless steel pot meant to sit in a steam table. These may or may not be held in a hot water bath, depending upon the type of steam table. Inserts come in many sizes, ranging from 1 quart to 36 quarts. A bain-marie, when set properly, holds food at 135. Never use it to cook or reheat food. A carbonated beverage machine is attached to tanks that hold premixed blends for selected soft drinks and a tank that contains CO2. When the switch is pressed on the unit, it automatically mixes the blend and the gas to make the beverage. The machine contains a refrigeration unit to chill the lines to reduce foaming in the dispensed beverage. Use chafing dishes or chafers to keep food items hot on a buffet table. Typically, the heat source from chafers is canned food, fuel, which is placed underneath the chafers filled with hot water. A coffee maker is a machine that automatically makes coffee. The operator adds coffee, and because the unit is usually connected to a water supply, simply pushes a button to make coffee. The unit comes in a variety of sizes, from those that make a single 12-cup pot to a large banquet-sized urns that make 100 or more cups. An espresso machine produces the traditional Italian coffee beverage called espresso. Espresso is a concentrated coffee. Beverage brewed by forcing hot water under pressure through finely ground coffee. A food warmer or steam table. This unit is designed to hold hotel pans or steam table pans, either one full-size pan or multiple smaller pans per slot. Different types of units are designed to work with water in a holding unit, without water, or either way. A food warmer / steam table, when set properly, holds food at 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Never use it to cook or reheat food. The hot holding cabinet is a heavily insulated cabinet designed to hold either hotel pans or sheet pans on racks in the interior. A thermostat controls the temperature so that the cabinet holds food at the desired temperature. Often these units have controls for humidity to prevent stored food from drying out. Some units have wheels to make it easier to move them to the service area. A hot box is an insulated piece of equipment designed to hold sheet pans and hotel pans of food. An ice machine can make ice cubes, ice flakes, ice chips, and crushed ice. Always scoop ice with a proper ice scoop. Speed racks. These racks are generally made of metal and have slots that food handlers can slide sheet pans into. This can create shelves for various heights depending on the need. Speed racks equipped with wheels are suitable for kitchens, bake shops, dry storage, refrigerators, and freezers. A wider variant is made to hold large serving trays for banquets, so the cooks can make plates up in advance and store them. For instance, composed salads can be assembled and stored without dressing. A tea maker works the same way as a coffee maker, but it makes tea for iced tea.